passionate about mobilizing and also increasing the pool of angel investors who support and fund promising entrepreneurs on the continent. What has been your experience when it comes to female-focused angel networks?
Indeed. Thank you so much for having me. And yes, ABAN today is the largest Pan-African organization of angel investors across the continent. And today, since 2015, we have been able to deploy 23.5%. But before, I would like to answer your question by establishing some facts. Female-led and funded companies are overtrained, underfunded, underrepresented, and these are very clear. And you will agree, and everyone within the ecosystem will agree with me on that. When you look at the whole ecosystem, you will notice that less than 1% of VC funding actually went into women-led and women-funded companies. And you will also note that a lot of grant money, for example, the statistic shows that 52% of female entrepreneurs across the continent would attract grant funding. Right, which is, I would not say, which is quite unfair. Meanwhile, we know that when we invest in women, they actually yield better results. And you will see that I read a report by BCG recently that actually shows that for every single dollar invested, women are able to generate a higher revenue versus the male counterpart. At the same time, when you invest money, and you invest capital or financial or non-financial resources into female-led or female-funded companies, you will see that the female-led will actually have a 10% growth higher than a male-run company.
All right. Now, of course, it's interesting you say that, because I also saw somewhere that women entrepreneurs earn 34% lower profits than their male counterparts. What do you think is the reason for this, especially given the fact that we live in changing times where women are supposed to have a bigger part of the pie? Are the shifting trends shaping the landscape today, posing new challenges, or are they providing solutions for women when it comes to access to finance?
I would say that we're seeing more solutions emerging, right, within our ecosystem. And I will also say that it's highly driven by visionaries and bold women who actually created a kind of framework. I'll take an example of Rising Tide Africa, which is the largest angel investor network led by female, who are bringing together the capital and investing most of the time this money into female-led and funded companies across the continent. And you will also see VCs such as AUA was working really hard and deliberately channeling capital towards female-led and female companies. So we need more and more of these vehicle and structure to deliberately look at female-led and funded company as a real opportunity on the continent in, number one, building sustainable businesses and also creating sustainable profit in the long run.
Now, of course, you bring angel investors together. So what is your outlook for funding in female-led startups? Are we going to see female-focused angel funds put together going forward?
Oh, absolutely. It is already happening. I gave an example earlier on Rising Tide, which is the largest network of female angels on the continent. Started in Nigeria. Today they have expanded into South Africa, and they are opening a special purpose vehicle in Kigali. You have AUA Capital, you have She Equity that has been active in the ecosystem, actually deploying real capital into this female founder. So we are expecting to see more and more of these instruments being created in order to support female-led and funded companies. From an angel, from where we sit, we have made it always very clear that it's so important that we deliberately build instruments and tools that will somehow deliberately channel capital towards female-led and funded companies. For example, one of our instruments that we have in-house is called Catalytic Africa. And Catalytic Africa, 2 years ago, deliberately built a pool of a pool of capital that then went to market to co-invest with angel investors across the continent into female-led companies. So this is a deliberate action that is designed to channel capital into these companies that are being led and funded by women. But more and more of this can be done. And today we're even increasing that pool, calling on multiple partners, those willing to bring in equity investment, debt, or even grant, in making sure that we can unlock further capital locally. But one thing is important, and it's clear from what we have done so far. Investing and supporting female-led enterprises across the continent starts with angel investors. So we need a bigger pool of female angel investors and male angel investors to start putting even more capital into these companies so that they can build enough traction to attract more and additional VC fundings. So it's so important that this pool of angel investor increases in channeling money into those companies across the continent.
Well, Fadilah, certainly we're looking forward to following the growth in this area. Thank you so much for joining us on the show and for those great insights. That's Fadilah Tchoumba. She is a CEO at the African Business